Good morning. Hello to everybody. Another Kerfuffle Spotlight. Really pleased today to be welcoming Ashley Mckellar. Hi, Ashley from Agent Hub. How are you?
I'm good. How you doing? You all right?
Yeah, not bad. Not bad. Sorry, I sent you off camera. I am in a bit of a seedy hotel. But anyway, hopefully they won't come and try and clean up the room while we're in here, although it is a complete mess, but never mind. Right, Ashley, I've been monitoring you guys for some time now. I think it's a really interesting provision that you're giving to estate agents. Do you want to just first of all, though, just give us a bit of background on yourself and the business, just so that people understand where you're coming from?
Yeah, sure. So I've been in property now for about 15 years. I first started working with Salesforce in 2016. We became a Salesforce partner in 2018, December 2018. So we're a Salesforce partner that provides specifically a CRM built on the enterprise platform. So yeah.
Okay, cool. And for people who've been living under a rock, actually, that's probably a bit unkind, isn't it? There are still they're not all trained spotters like me, are they? To be fair, in terms of their Salesforce is the world's largest CRM package, isn't it? In terms of a general CRM package that specialises in just about every vertical that there is in the marketplace. In fact, it's probably too small to call it just a CRM. It's actually an entire platform ecosystem in its own right, isn't it?
Salesforce is the largest platform out there. A lot bigger than some of the more well-known ones that you might see on your YouTubes and Google ads and stuff like that. But it's the only platform which is completely customizable. Some of the biggest companies in the world are using it. The only thing that they don't do is they don't build specifically for sectors, and that's why they have chosen partners for that.
And that's a really key point, isn't it? Because actually, and we'll come on to this a little bit on, there have been a number of real estate agencies around the world that have tried to get on the Salesforce platform, customize it, and it's not been the easy. I think one of the downsides is, isn't it, because this package is so customizable, so powerful, you can end up going down rabbit holes very quickly unless you're focused in the way that you are. That's right, isn't it?
So with the Salesforce platform, you can literally pick and choose what you want to do. A lot of the time we get asked, can the system do this? And it might seem a bit arrogant of me, but it's not a case of can we do it. It's more of a case of how we do it and how long it takes to do. So for somebody that isn't defining a package, it's very, very difficult to then focus on a task without ending up on another road and building something else, essentially, because what you do is you build an object and objects on top of objects on top of objects, and it can become really, really, really long task. As well as that, Salesforce consultants can be very expensive. So it depends on obviously your budget for the task ahead, but they can be very expensive as well.
You don't have to tell me that. I've used Salesforce myself as a CRM. And look, we'll come back to this at the end because it's worth hanging on for. But just in case anyone's thinking, oh, this is going to cost me money, I won't steal all your thunder, but actually you've got a really positive story there. But yeah, Salesforce, especially if you have to go via their ecosystem of consultants, it's like a good engineer, isn't it? Somebody like that. If you find a good one, you're in a good place. But if you don't get the right person there, then again, it can get very expensive very quickly, and ultimately not lead to you delivering on your ultimate goal, which of course is the main reason. So given, okay, we've spoken about, I shouldn't really start on a negative, should I? As I said, I'm the least professional presenter that's out there at the moment. Let's start with a positive again. What were the reasons you decided to build on the Salesforce platform? What does Salesforce give you that you felt was worth obviously investing the time and energy in?
I think it's the flexibility. First and foremost is the flexibility of the platform. They pre-build a lot of objects, okay, which helps us as a tech company coming up, and it allows us to kind of put our hat into the rooms that we want to be spoken into, okay?
Yeah.
Now, with the objects that we build, we have complete control over. We have complete control over it. We don't need specific coding to it. The coders that we have and the coders that we do use, they're specifically Salesforce trained. So we've got in-house Salesforce developers that do that, and they do a great job at it. With Salesforce, you can almost architect what you want, and have the output 2, 3, 4 weeks later.
I think just going back to my experiences with it, I I can find my way round it. You know, the old classic view, and then there's the new lighting view there. But I've always been, convinced that actually it does need more customization there to make it work in the estate agency world. And I think that key point about what you're talking there is to have that control element that you can literally stylistically control elements of it is vital, isn't it? In terms of, look, we know the power of Salesforce with what it can do in terms of integrations, customizations, automation there. But actually, it still needs to be a simple package at the end of the day to get the core data in there in the right way, doesn't it?
Yeah. And that's what we work on, on a day-to-day basis, is having the components that do the job you need, but then also making those components as robust as possible. Because yes, you want automation, but we've seen it time and time again is people get carried away with automation, and you sometimes forget that the automation is there. So
not to bounce back on the negative again, but this is an important one. What's the biggest advice you can give to agents that are thinking going down this route? Is it the classic one of start with little and build on it rather than try and build your utopian goal from the very beginning?
100% start small or start very vanilla and then build on it as you come up with that use case. Because what you do and what we've seen is that customers will come to us and they say, right, I want it to flash, I want it to spin, and they'll forget the flash and the spin. And literally they'll say, okay, can we tone it down a bit now? So you always end up, sometimes it's a bit overkill.
Yeah, okay, that makes sense again there. And in terms of what you've done on the platform, what makes you now what makes you now special as a CRM?
Oh, well, we specifically built out our objects for different variants. Okay, so sales, lettings, management, residential, and commercial.
Yeah.
First and foremost.
So cross, so that's really, really important there. A lot of people are looking for, one solution to make it work. Okay, makes sense. Yeah.
We pick and choose the good Salesforce objects that are usable. We take them out and we actually redefine them for our purpose. So we've got the underlying code of Salesforce there, and we redefine it for our purpose and what we want to do. So we have it for residential, commercial, sales, lettings, and management.
Yeah.
And then we actually choose the objects that we want to Salesforce, and then we incorporate our own objects with that. On top of that, we do our integrations. So if you are using, for instance, big big pin at the moment, but if you're using one of the top 3 portals in the country, automatically we can do that by the click of a button, a checkbox, or automation. So we've got automation rules there where you can update a stage and say property is now live on the market. It's now live on the market, and it shoots off to 3, 4, 5 portals, including some of the free ones as well.
So again, one of the big problems that people have had is when they've been developing on the Salesforce platform, they do literally have to reinvent the wheel in terms of these areas for doing just the day-to-day jobs, which was mundane, are vitally important, like those portal feeds you're talking about. So what you're talking about again is that you've already thought this through. You've got all the basics, the essentials in place for any normal agency in the UK to pick up and run with this from day one. Yeah.
Yeah, so entering and registering applicants, taking the applicants' requirements, matching the applicant to the properties, putting the properties on the market, taking offers, doing deals, having online tenant forms, online sale forms, portals. So we've got portals for the customer portals, applications fed off of the Salesforce mobile application, but just recoded as soon as you put in your email address and your username. So all of these things are fantastic.
Do you have any functionality for dealing with the leads that come in from the portals as well, or do you have to rekey those leads into the application?
So for every portal, and we're currently sitting at the 3 majors, plus I would say 6 or 7 of the free to list portals. And for every portal that we integrate with, you push your properties to the portal, and you see every opportunity coming in from the portal as well, and that's done on hourly view, and it calculates it into a lifetime lead score as well.
Okay, that's really good. So you that concept of lead scoring, again, marketeers will know this well, but maybe other people don't. So based on some of the information they filled in or how they've behaved, it's always building a score based around how hot you are as a client. That's the basic ethos behind that, isn't it?
Yeah, so that's one element of it, but also the element of why they came into your system in the first place. So if they're on a property on a portal and they've said, "Can I book a viewing?" It would tell you that Ashley Mckellar's coming from XYZ portal. It will say to you that he's interested in a viewing and he's got a property to sell. From that very screen, you can do 3 or 4 actions that are must-have actions. But then it also will give him a score. If you're working on a point system of 100, like something like what Pardot does or something like that, you can give them points, and then your sales team or your lettings team will know once they get to that score of 100, it's time to give them a call.
Yeah, very exciting. I've just started. You just mentioned it. I've just gone live with Pardot myself, actually, so I haven't managed to break it yet. But oh my God, what an incredible system that is to have in the building your journeys and nurture things. It's very, very impressive.
Probably the holy grail of marketing automation. Yeah.
Well, I'm glad that if you told me it was a complete pop, I'd have been really depressed, because it's a year-long contract as far as I'm concerned.
You spend a little bit of time setting it up, but once you set it up, you'll never need to touch it again.
And that's a key point, isn't it? What we're talking about here. If again, you do have access then to. There's lots of EDM providers, obviously out there, generic ones. There's lots, obviously, in this arena. You've got great companies like Brief Your Market, Active Pipe, who focus on the, obviously on the estate agency area as well. But the key point is that you should be able to put these automation rules, these nurture journeys in place, so that you get a steady, Tom Panos, doesn't matter whether it's Tom Panos or Josh Fegan, Stephen Brown, you've got all the data, all the gold locked away in that database, isn't it? And that's just one way of ensuring a steady drip of leads into your, regardless of the portals, just of the business you're doing.
Yeah, because you want to know everything about a client from looking at that client record in that one screen, and that's what we try and do. That's what it does.
Hi, Trevor's on. I suspect I know why you're here, Trevor, but we'll come to that question later on. You'll have to wait a second. So obviously we've talked about there's obviously a large number of CRM providers out there. Again, what makes you apart from the Salesforce element? What do you feel makes you different from the CRM players?
Well, a lot of our customers that come to us, they come to us because they're having some gripes with their current CRM, whatever it might be, and we also get asked the questions of, can you customize this and can you customize that? So we always say to the customer, we leave our system at 80%, and that 20% is the gloss that the customer puts on there. Okay. The journey, the customization, the automation, the text message confirmations, the email confirmations, the triggers, the workflows for the in-house team, stuff like that. So that 20% is the gloss of that.
So this isn't giving you what some companies like Foxtons have done, where they've written their own boss system. But it's a wonderful sort of blend, halfway house between having the reliability of a CRM package and having having that that bespoke element there, isn't it? I mean, my old company Reapin, of course, you'll know well. They've gone down the route in a slightly different approach. They've got their foundations, and that's going to give them that little bit of sort of customization. You're doing that on the back of Salesforce, though, aren't you? Which is a really interesting play.
Correct. And then everything that the customer sees, everything they do on their CRM is 100% available on their mobile application. So there is nothing that you can do on your desktop that you cannot do on your mobile, which is also a very, very good feature. Now, with that, on top of everything else, we have the CRM element, and then we have the MLS side. So everybody that is a potential customer of Agent Hub can also share those listings that they want to share.
Please keep us updated, Ash, with any of your success, and we'd love to tell the market about it.
No problem. Definitely will do, and hopefully there'll be quite a few stories to tell you.
Excellent, great. Thank you very much, mate. Cheers. See ya. Bye bye.